What were the Padres thinking giving Tatis Jr. that deal knowing about his shoulder injury? What were you thinking? I like questions that are short, simple, to the point, and funny in how we can answer them. What happened, you're asking? Well, good morning, everybody. If you're listening to this on, I don't know what day it is, Tuesday, April 6, 2021, last night, the San Diego Padres lost a game to the San Francisco Giants. Fernando Tatis took a big swing and fell to the ground. He crumpled to the ground. It looked like something happened to his arm, hand, elbow, and then he walked right off the field, and you realized it was his shoulder. Then word comes out after the game that Fernando Tatis has been suffering from some shoulder issues for quite a while. Quite a while. He's had 143 games in the big leagues. I don't know what that means, quite a while. Like since he was a kid. I knew him as a kid. He didn't have shoulder problems. Did San Diego know? That's not the question. Did San Diego care? And the answer is no. When we signed Giancarlo Stanton to a $325 million contract back in 2017, or I don't know what year it was. It wasn't 17, obviously. It was 2000. Maybe it was 2014. Who can remember? We knew that he had a history of injuries, but his injuries were mostly soft tissue. He was a very hard body. He had just gotten hit in the face by a fastball by Mike Fiers. We were worried that he'd never take another at-bat. If so, would he be the same? Would he recover? He was certainly going to look good again. But we knew that he would play. We were confident. It's not like a pitcher coming off Tommy John or coming off labrum surgery or a player who has a degenerative hip condition. And we agreed to sign Stanton. When we asked what number it would take for him to say yes, we gave him the number. He said yes, and we moved on. It's what happened in the Tatis situation, except totally different. They didn't need to sign Tatis that year. He was not going to be a free agent anytime soon. He wasn't even close to arbitration. The Padres, who keep 2 sets of medical records, which you all know, which is completely against the rules in baseball, totally screwed the Marlins doing that, but we reversed that trade when they hid from us Colin Ray's elbow issues, and then Ray blew out. They knew exactly about Tatis, no matter what medical records his shoulder issues were in. And they said to themselves, from a position player standpoint, he'll be fine. He could DH if he has to later in the contract. We can move him from shortstop to first base, maybe from shortstop to second base. He can play anywhere. He's the face of baseball. We need him to be a Padre. Let's lock him up right now, and we'll worry about insurance litigation later. Well, shoulders are no joke, folks, but they do not cause careers to end. They do cause Gold Glovers to become DHs, as happened to Marcell Ozuna. They do cause above average shortstops to become below average shortstops. They do not cause an inability to hit. What will happen here is that Tatis is going to need surgery at some point. They're calling it a shoulder subluxation. That means his shoulder popped out. Have you ever seen that in a movie where the shoulder pops out and then they pop back in and it hurts super bad? Well, what happens when your shoulder pops in and pops out and you say, hey, I'm good? Who remembers the World Series last year? Anybody? I do. Do you remember when Cody Bellinger did a celebration on a home run and hit Kiki Hernandez and they do their forearm shiver and it actually hurts Bellinger and it impacted his fielding? I remember that. I was furious when that happened, pretending I was an executive with the Dodgers. I'm not furious if I'm the Padres right now. I put the face of my franchise under contract. I already swallowed hard knowing I did it way too early and paid him way too much, but I wanted to take the momentum of Darvish and Snell and how exciting it was to potentially catch the Dodgers. The fact that we have Machado and Hosmer and Myers, who they tried to get rid of to anybody. They would have traded Will Myers and Eric Hosmer to any one of 29 teams, any one of them, and would have paid part of the contract down. No one would take them. But now they're all excited. So they're not going to let this injury hurt that excitement, and they're never going to give you an indication ever that there's a possibility that they made a mistake. What'll be interesting to me to see is whether or not they allow him to have surgery, because when you pop your shoulder in and out too often, it starts happening more often. And every time you pop your shoulder in and out, there's a consequence to the shoulder, to the tendons. It will take surgery. It's not even a wait to see because it's too easy. Tatis is going to have surgery on his shoulder. It's going to impact his throwing. I shouldn't say that. I don't know which shoulder it is. It may be his left shoulder. I'm picturing him at bat. Coke, is it his left shoulder? I think it is, in which case it will not impact his throwing or his hitting. It'll just impact his service time because he'll get time on the DL. He's going to have surgery. The Padres are going to try to wait as long as possible until it actually becomes impossible to wait anymore. They have no regrets about the signing right now. Those regrets come later, and they will have nothing to do with the shoulder. Remember, he hurt this again in spring training, right? And we said, don't worry, he'll play opening day. Well, he's going to play again. He may be out for a few more days, but I do not think they'll cut the cord, because if they do the shoulder surgery, his season becomes in jeopardy, and the Padres are not going to blow another 10% of Manny Machado's $300 million contract. Not going to happen.